simplifying these fractions, so you are going to factor everything completely. So when I look at this first fraction, is the difference of two squares, so I can factor it into the sum and difference of the terms being squared, which are 4z and 3. So the factors are the sum and difference. In the denominator, now, when you are looking to factor these, especially when you have factors where the leading coefficient is something other than 1, okay, factor the easiest things first, because more than likely one of these factors is going to be a factor of our denominator. Now I'm going to save that one for last, just to double check. Up here I do have a perfect square trinomial. If I recognize it as such, I can write it that way, or I can reverse FOIL. The two factors of positive 4 whose sum is positive 4 are plus 2 and plus 2. So z plus 2, either quantity squared or z plus 2 written twice is fine. And then my z minus 3. Now when I look to factor this denominator term, more than likely it's probably going to cancel with one of these. It's not a guarantee, but if you start with the factoring that's easiest, you can generally get one in that form. So I don't know if it's going to be a plus or a minus, but I do know if my first terms equal 4z squared, then this term has to be a z. And if my last terms equal a total negative 6, again, I don't know if this is plus or minus, but this is going to be a factor 2. And so what I can do here is I can test this. When I test my outer and inners, I have 8z and 3z. I want the sum to be a positive, so I want my larger number 8z to be plus. So if I assign a positive sign for this term and a negative here, I get my factored form. Okay, so I'm treating this all as a single fraction, and so once I cancel, the 4z minus 3's cancel, z plus 2's cancel. Those are the only ones. And so my answer is going to be 4z plus 3 times z plus 2. It doesn't matter the order you write the factors. If you have monomial factors, write those first, and then binomials, then trinomials. But if you have two binomial factors, it's not going to matter. And then z minus 3 in the denominator. Okay, and I did have two factors that got canceled from the denominator. And so when I simplify these here, you're going to be left with the negative 2 as one possible value that would give you a 0. And then the other possible value from the original form that would give you a 0. When you have factors that have leading coefficients other than 1, take the opposite of your constant, divide by that leading coefficient. So the opposite of negative 3 is positive 3 over the leading coefficient.